Good morning once again. I will start now the presentation since marami tayong pag-uusapan sa araw na ito. Nakapagpasa na ba lahat ng application form? Anong problem?
Sir, hinihingan ko po kasi ng picture tapos ng si Karancho. Ay, hindi.
Ano sabi?
Ano po, nung isang araw ko pa po chinat, ay may bagyo po ba, guys? Sabi ko, bukas na lang. Tapos kung hanggang hindi na po ako sinisin eh.
Okay. Si Karancho, I will call the attention ni Aaron Karancho. Ako mag-chat. Meron pa? Sino may problema pa sa partner? Kung hindi kayang pagsabayin, i-give up ang isa. Nakita niyo screen ko?
Opo, sir.
Okay, so this is the request letter to the campus director. Lahat po ng mga letters, lahat ng communications, lahat po ng form ay wag niyong i-dispose hanggang next semester kasi kasama po yan sa manuscript. Ito'y nasa appendices. Pagdating sa dulo, hihingin pa rin namin sa inyo ito, i-attach ito sa thesis. Okay, so mas maganda kung may soft copy kayo, naka-PDF file o kaya naka-image file para pag mag-accomplish na ng final na manuscript, i-attach na lang. Ang ina-attach na appendices ay picture pagdating sa ganitong mga letter kasi kailangan ng yung fresh na pirma. Okay, so this is the letter to the campus director. Kinakailangan ito bago magpatuloy o magsimula ang isang research endeavor. So, let me read, Dear Director Calderon. We are, pakipalitan ng pangalan, we're currently working on a research paper entitled, and write your research title here. This research study has been a requirement for the degree Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, major in Food and Service Management. In this regard, we are requesting permission from your good office to conduct the said study for the partial completion of our degree requirements. We are looking forward for your favorable response regarding the matter. Thank you very much and God bless. Respectfully yours. Pakipapirmahan po sa researchers. Kaya sabi ko, bawal pong mag-accomplish o mag-submit nitong letter to the campus director nang hindi ko pa na ibabalik sa inyo ang approved na application form sa advisor. So, wala kasi akong vacant ngayon, 4 klase ko. So, kung hindi ko siya ma-process today, baka bukas ko siya papirmahan sa mga advisor. Then, kapag na-approve na ni advisor yung application, kahit na in-assign kasi ba, nag-assign tayo ng advisor, well and good sa inyo kung sino talaga yung prefer nyo, yun yung nilagay ko. Pero may karapatan pa rin si advisor kung ayaw niya. Kaya kailangan natin mapapirmahan yung application form. Kasi kung ayaw niya sa advisee, edi mapapalitan. So, ilagay ang pangalan ng research advisor dito. Hintayin nyo muna yung yung ibabalik ko ng form. Then, papipirmahan din kay Doc Nona, tapos approve ni Sir Calderon. Since sa pandemic tayo, napakadami kong trabaho. Ako ang nagagawa nito. Kaya ako magpapapirma. No? Ako magpiprint at ako process kasi dili ko siya mapiprint. Okay? Napakahalaga ng ating timeliness sa research kasi maubusan tayo ng panahon. Okay? So, naintindihan na yung request letter to the campus director?
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, let's proceed to Chapter 1. Wait lang, loading. Hindi ko share ang buong screen. Bakit? Okay. Nakita nyo na yung Tech Research 1, Module 6. Ha?
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, diretso na tayo. I am expected to demonstrate the understanding on the different components included in Chapter 1 of the research proposal, examine examples of each part of Chapter 1 of the research proposal, and develop comprehensive and well-written Chapter 1 of the approved research proposal. Goals are our guiding starts in achieving best results. With this as premise, Chapter 1 of the research report is dubbed Introduction. This part of the research proposal in general serves as the driving force that ignites the researcher's wheel since it ensures the better and more comprehensive start. Ang nilalaman ng Chapter 1 ay ang mga sumusunod. Introduction, background of the study. In your case, it's statement of the problem, significance of the study, scope and limitation, and definition of terms. So let's talk about the different parts. Let's start with the introduction. Introduction is usually a one-page write-up discussing general concepts of the research topic. General ang laman ng introduction. Isang page siya. Madali namang punuin yung isang page kasi sa format natin, naka-double space ang research. So, kung sa normal writing, actually, parang kalahati lang siya ng isang page. Tapos pag dinouble space mo, napupuno na. Pero hindi natin, parang, it is not limited to one page alone, but we encourage one page kasi general concept ito ng bagay na tinidiscuss mo o ng iyong research. Kung ang research mo ay tungkol sa hygiene and sanitation during pandemic, you discuss pandemic in the very beginning, in the introduction. Then hapyawan mo si hygiene and sanitation. Kung ang pinapag-aaralan mo naman ay tungkol sa mga PWD, you start with the introduction mo, you discuss introduction PWD in the workplace. Kung ang study mo naman ay tungkol sa NC, yung katulad ng kay Oherio, yung correlation ni NC tsaka dun sa mga sa skills ng mga nagtatrabaho, you start your introduction with the discussion of the national certificate as general na galing kay TESDA. Then you go specific to anong mismong NC competencies yung applicable doon sa trabaho na related sa study mo or which is the FSM. So, pwedeng ang laman niya ay synopsis o mga pira-piraso ng mga related studies and literature na pwedeng mag-strengthen ng reason for the investigation. However, the introduction should not be a compilation of research literatures and studies. So, hindi siya pinagsama-samang research literatures. Most of the time, nag-i-include tayo ng isa hanggang dalawa na literature, pero mas madaming part ng introduction ay nanggaling mismo sa sarili mong isip sa inyong dalawa kung mag-partner kayo. Furthermore, the flow of discussion should naturally lead from macro to micro level. So mula sa general, you go deeper. Mula sa malawak, magiging siyang specific. It outlines the need to undertake the research study. Lagi naman ganun na ang ating approach mula sa macro going papunta sa micro. General to specific. At the same time, to show how serious your chosen study is, it is recommended that student researchers should also present some statistical evidence of its gravity. In this case, kaya tayo nagdadagdag ng additional literature and studies para ma-strengthen natin yung bigat ng pangangailangan na pag-aralan yung ating research. They are expected to provide the complete details to justify na meron talagang prevalent problem. No. Okay, so I am going to show you an example of introduction. This is a pedagogical research. Isa sa mga advice ko sa BTP. Yung naunang nakikita nyo ay ang preliminaries. Then abstract. Then let's go to chapter 1. So, nakikita nyo, nakikita? Okay.
Opo, sir.
Medyo maselan si research. Kung anong itsura ng nasa format, yun din talagang hinihingi natin. Let's say, for example, yung chapter 1, Yan. Kung yan ay malaki ang C, maliit ang H, ganyan talaga dapat ang makikita. Hindi pwedeng lumihis dyan. Roman number 1 ang ginagamit. Tapos may sukat ang spacing. That's the normal double spacing. Then capitalize ang introduction. Then after nun, mayroon kang isang enter. Tawag ko dyan isang enter. So after an introduction, mag-enter ka ng dalawa bago ka makapunta dito. Ang topic nila ay tungkol sa industry preparedness of graduating TVL students in Tayabas City Division in Standalone Senior High School. So, dahil industry preparedness, mag-start ang kanyang introduction sa K-12 program. Kasi, kaya naman nagkaroon ng tawag dito, yung immersion is because of the K-12 program. So, it starts with the general, the K-12 program, dire-diretso, pansin nyo, yan. Pwedeng sarili nilang isip, pwede rin namang hindi. Kung kinuha mo yung information ng K-12 programs into something, edi isulat mo yung pinagkuhaan niya. Then, the senior high school is part of the K-12 curriculum. So, mula dun sa K-12 na malaki, pinaliit niya, nagdagdag ng 2 taon. Kailangan mo kasing ma-introduce si, anong tawag dito? Kailangan mong ma-introduce si industry immersion. Pansin nyo, kahit gano'n anong tawag doon? Kahigpit si research, may nakakalusot. Tingnan niyo to, yung senior high school ay hindi naka-indent. Magpapaperma ba kayo? Okay. So, ito dapat ay naka-indent. Wait lang, may magpapaperma lang ng thesis. Kasi nyo, 1 page lang yung introduction. Then yung kasunod is the next part, which is the background of the study. Pabuklat na. Kaya ko pala advisor, ano? Permahan muna itong English.
Okay.
Idaan na lang sa English, huwag kalimutan.
I'm German po.
Ay, piper mo. Wala. Kailangan ng isang piraso na ganito na ang nakalagay lang ay ito. Tapos isang piraso din na ito lang ang nakalagay nandito.
Okay. Wala na po ito. Ito lahat.
Ito lahat. Tapos matitira si Sir Roland nandito, technical advisor.
Okay.
Tapos isa pa na ako lang ang nakalagay, research advisor.
Pwede mo mga tayo nila?
Diretso, pareho lang.
Okay.
Tapos, gawin nyo ng tigalawa. Hihingin nyo ni Sir Jonas. Tapos yung isa, sa akin, isa-submit. Tapos ito.
May tayo dito.
Ay, baka hindi pumayag.
Sige.
I-print nyo yung galing sa soft copy. Ito individual na. Certified that, pangalan, has submitted copies entitled research item. Tapos ako ang pipirma pag na-fill up na. Yung second page, ito yung makakamali, ito yung sakto lang. Pangalan, then research title, tapos pangalan ulit. Tapos pakibalik sa akin ng form, ha? Okay, pirma. Okay. Ang dami nito.
Ito po yun sa ano, nag-register na ako sa technical, naka po yung number.
Ate panel?
Copy po.
Thank you po, sir.
Dali, ayan ba ipapirman? Okay na. Design pen kayo. Okay, going back. So that is the introduction. Nandiyan pa kayo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, itong sample na ito ay i-upload ko sa Google Classroom. Huwag nyo kopyahin ha. Bawal kasi namamapya. Okay. Punta tayo sa next part, which is the background of the study. Ang background of the study is the same with your rational. Yung pinagawa ko sa inyo na rational, ganun dapat yung content niya. Yung may paragraph 1, paragraph 2, hanggang paragraph 6. So background of the study described the scenario that poses problems and concerns needed to be addressed. Ito yung nagko-connect ng situation to this proposed study. It is composed of a brief statement of the origin of the problem. So dito tayo nag-o-open ng problema natin. It also includes the main reasons for the conduct of the study. So kung ang introduction ay general, going to specific, sa background of the study, you are giving details on the problem itself. So it starts with an opening statement about the main topic leading to the specific topic, followed by a discussion on the specific topic leading to the problem identification. So mula sa opening statement, nag-start ka sa main topic, then naging specific, then nag-discuss, then naging problem identification, and lastly, yung statement of the solution is presented. So ito na rin yung sinabi at diniscuss ko sa inyo na laman, o kung hindi ko na-discuss sa inyo sa ano ko lang yata ito nabanggit sa CP, kaya sabi ko panoorin nyo na lang sa video. Merong 6 na paragraph ang laman ni background of the study. So usually, umaabot siya ng 1 to 1.5 page. Ang first paragraph is the opening statements about the main topic leading to your specific topic. Yung second paragraph mo nyo, discussion ng specific topic leading to the main problem. Then third paragraph is the presentation of your main problem. Yung fourth paragraph, evidences na nag-i-exist yung problema. The fifth paragraph, present the causes and the effects ng main problem pag hindi siya nasolusyonan. And the sixth paragraph is the presentation of a perceived solution to the problem and strategy, which is yung inyong research. Ngayon, ang ideal is 6 paragraph, pero kung hindi naman yan nakakahod, ibig sabihin kung in 3 paragraph, nakikita na yung bigat and reasons, di pwede na yon. Basta wag lang isa, wag dalawa. At least 3, 4, 5, 6. Wag naman sobra doon, lalabis. So, as an example, hindi ko alam kung ilang paragraph to. 1, 2, 3, 4, yan. 1, 2, 3. 4 paragraph. It starts with the K-12 pa rin. Nagsasite na siya according to YAP 2011 in the official publication ng Senate ng Pilipinas. In-implement sa bansa ang K-12 because the Philippines is one of the 3 countries that only offers a 10 basic education. This has dependably been viewed as a weakness of the students who are contending in an undeniably worldwide job. The more drawn-out instructive cycle of the K-12 educational curriculum is viewed as basic in giving Filipino students a higher nature of training. And dahil TVL, naging mas specific na siya, in your case, edi you go specific kung ano yung, medyo malapit kasi yung inyong research sa ganitong format. So, naging TVL na ang pinag-uusapan na yung COC, sa NC, yan. Naging na siya specific. Then, it prepared them for parang getting ready for students for life after secondary school is critical work, parang binibigyan niya ng importansya. Yet how do schools know whether the function they are doing is having the coveted outcomes? So baka nga naman hindi na-achieve. Tandaan natin ang problem nito ay industry preparedness. So baka hindi na-achieve ng schools yung dapat na skills na meron ng ating estudyante. So on and so forth. Then government, with numerous company, sila yung naging linkages o pinapadalhan ng mga OJT or immersion. Then sa dulo, ilalagay mo na yung iyong solution. So the coping demand for senior high school students to become job ready is an impending question that the researchers like to answer. This study is focused on the assessment of skills of senior high school TVL. So nakita nyo na, sinabi na niya kung ano yung mismong focus. So it's the same video. Towards the end, isasabihin nyo rin kung ano yung focus at saka yung mismong pag-aaralan. This study will further attempt to measure the industry preparedness of respondents. Okay. So yun yung background of the study. Ito ay madaling i-discuss pero mahirap itong gawin. Pero along the way, ay di, gano'n naman, gagawa kayo, titingnan ko. Ganito magiging step natin, ha? Gagawa kayo ng chapter 1, isasabihin nyo sa akin. That's first submission. I-comment ako. Hindi ako nag-edit, nagko-comment lang. Ganun lang ginagawa namin. Kasi kayo talaga yung gumagawa. Nakakapag-edit lang ako kung advice ko. Kasi, pag advisor ka, edi responsibilidad mong mag-edit-edit. Ngayon, so, gagawa kayo ng chapter 1, isasubmit sa Google Classroom, magbibigay ako ng comment. After ko magbigay ng comment, aayusin nyo yung chapter 1, tapos, second submission. Tapos, after nun, dediretso kayo sa advisor ninyo, then third submission. No, ganun. Tapos, pag naka-third submission na ng chapter 1, yun na yung gagradean ko for the quality of the manuscript. Pero hindi ibig sabihin ay planchado na yun. After ng third submission, pwede nang magpabalik-balik ang papel sa advisor. Kasi kung ayaw ni advisor nito, palitan ito, ayusin ito. So balik-balik ang papel hanggang sa maayos. And syempre, habang inaayos ang chapter 1, magsisimula naman kayo ng chapter 2. Kailangan nating matapos hanggang chapter 3 hanggang chapter 3 ng December. Kasi may iba pa tayong ipe-prepare ng January bago tayo humarap sa proposal defense. Okay. So let's go to the third part, which is the statement of the problem. May tanong? May tanong? Walang tanong?
Wala po.
Okay. Sige. Madali naman siyang intindihin, mahirap lang talaga siyang gawin pag nilalapat. Okay, next. So, objective of the study or statement of the problem is a research proposal must have a clear and well-defined and constructed statement of the problem or objectives. A statement of the problem is stated in question form, kaya yung mga statement of the problem ninyo na nakuha ninyo sa inyong mga advisor o minsan o kaya naman ay kinonstruct ninyo, naka-question form siya. Yung objectives of the study, ginagamit natin yung pag-developmental, declarative form ang paraan ng pagkakasulat nito. So, statement of the problem is usually used pag nakakonduct kayo ng descriptive research katulad ng gagawin ninyo. Kaya naman pedagogical researches, ang objectives naman ay ginagamit kapag developmental. So, there are two kinds of objectives usually formulated for a research study, the general objective and the specific objectives. Pag general objectives, it relates directly to the research problem and states clearly what the researcher will do and expects to find out. The general objective is preferably stated in behavioral terms. Usually, ang general objectives ay kung ano ang title mo. Ina-align lang natin siya into a sentence kasi yun mismo yung tinutumbok niya. So, it specifies the activities that will take place. Example, yung research ko nung master's. Development of gear trainer. So, general objective, sa inyo ay statement of the problem ang nakalagay. Tapos walang nakalagay na general objective. Nakalagay lang the main aim of the study sa inyo, ha? Pag objective naman ay the main objective of the study is to develop a gear trainer. Yan. Ito yung parang, ito yung mismong kabuuan. Yung title minsan, gaya ng sabi ko, parang inuulit mo lang yung title. Tapos, pag pedagogical, let's say this one, skills assessment, parang iba ito. Yung industry preparedness pa rin yata. Measure of... Okay, anyway. Yan, general objective. Let's say, for example, ang title mo ay Skills Assessment of Senior High School TVL Students of Tayabas City Division, Standalone Senior High School, Measure of Industry Preparedness. So, ang kanya general objective is this study aims to measure the skill level and industry preparedness of senior high school, technical, vocational, and livelihood students of Tayabas City Division, Standalone Senior High School. So, that's general. Yan. Pansin nyo, pag statement of the problem, may general statement ka, ito, pero hindi siya nakalagay na general objective. Basta nakasulat lang siya under ng statement of the problem. Then specifically, ito na yung specific objectives o specific na questions. Tingnan nyo, naka-question form siya. Okay, so ang specific objectives, napakahalaga nito kasi ito talaga yung pagmumulan ng lahat ng gagawin mo sa mga susunod pang mga chapters ng manuscript. So, the specific variables examined in the study, naka-identify yan sa specific objectives. The variables are expressed in measurable terms. Napakahalaga na measurable siya kasi kung hindi mo kayang i-measure yan, wala kang mailalagay sa chapter 4 at sa chapter 5. This also suggests that the type of analysis to be done. Yan. Tignan natin example. Tignan nyo. Ngayon, para makuha mo yung level and industry preparedness ng senior high school TVL tracks ng Tayabas City Division Standalone Senior High School, yun ang pangalan ng school, ha? Kailangan mong makuha itong nasa specific objectives. Una, ano ang profile ng student respondents according to the following variables? Ano ang sex nila at anong strand nila? So, itong specific objectives nito dapat nasusukat. So, dapat, pagdating sa chapter 4, ito yung unang lalabas. Ang chapter 4 ay results and discussion. So, pagdating sa result, ito yung unang lalabas dapat, yung result ng objective 1. Objective 2, what is the industry preparedness of the respondents as perceived by the learners in the 4 skill category areas as indicated below? General work habits, communication skills, technical skills, and technology literacy. So, pagdating sa chapter 4, after mo ma-present itong 1, dapat ito naman ang lalabas. So, ibig sabihin, ang questionnaire, ang survey material na gagamitin mo na pag-gather ng data ay naka-align dapat sa iyong objectives o sa iyong statement of the problem. What is the industry preparedness of the respondents as perceived by representatives of the labor industry? Itong isa ay perception ng estudyante, itong isa, perception ng industry. So, sa presentation mo pa rin, ganyan pa rin dapat ang pagkakasunod-sunod. Sa dulo, para makita natin kung ano ba, prepared ba yung estudyante pagharap nila sa industry. So you need to make statistical treatment, which is there a significant difference between the perceptions of the students and the representatives of the labor industry on industry preparedness of senior high school TVL students? So ito na yung statistical treatment na magpapakita na prepared daw ba o hindi. Yan. Okay. So in your case, magkakaiba kayo ng statement of the problem. Edi you construct your statement of the problem, tapos tingnan natin sa submission 1 kung anong lalabas. Then I will give my suggestion. Then wag pong mag-submit ng blanco ha, o kaya wala yung certain part. Meron kasi sa inyong nagsasubmit ng module na hindi sinasagutan. Ibang usapan kapag ganitong research ha. Okay, so that's the statement of the problem. May tanong? May tanong? Bumitaw pa ba din?
Wala pa, sir. Wala pa.
Okay, diretso tayo. Next is the significance of the study. So, all researches that have been conducted, regardless of its nature and orientation, aim at developing and enhancing the system. Kinakonduct natin ang research to bring changes, innovations, and may even challenge the system. With this, researches bring significance for its target clients. For educational researches, dapat nagdadagdag siya ng benepisyo to every member of an academic community. In general, significance of the study embarks upon the importance that the research might contribute to the major stakeholders, other concerned groups and individuals, as well as the future researchers. A brief but comprehensive discussion of how the stakeholders and other concerned parties will be benefited should be presented thoroughly. Also, kayo, mga student researchers, are advised to present the order of the beneficiaries of the study by capitalizing on the degree of impact that the study can bring in each party. So, ibig sabihin, ang significance of the study, dito natin ipinapakita kung kanino at sino ang makikinabang sa ating research. Ganito ang kanyang itsura. And please follow the format. Significance of the study. The result of this study would be of great help in addressing the skill assessment of the senior high school TVL students. So, to the administrators, naka-bold ito ha. Then, pakisaysay kung bakit siya magiging kapaki-pakinabang sa school administrators. In your case, ay sa restaurant managers, sa customer, saan pa ba? Sa community, yan. So, the study reflected the effectiveness of the program. Likewise, the school administrators could foresee the current needs of the labor industry. So, mag-brainstorm kayo ng kapartner mo. Paano siya makakatulong sa community? Then, tingnan nyo, to the teachers, to the industry, to the students, paano makakatulong sa inyo, at paano makakatulong sa future researchers. Usually, o lagi, as it is required, ang pinakataas palagi, ang mauuna ay kung sino ang pinakamataas o pinakamakikinabang. Kung PWD ang inaaral mo, di ang pinakamakikinabang ay PWD, ay di ang una mo ditong significance is to the PWD workers. Tapos, papunta dun sa mas light. Huwag laging mawawala ang community. Kung related sa industry, huwag din pong mawawala yung school. Katulad sa, dito sa researchers, huwag mawawala si researchers at yung future researchers. Laging huli yung future researchers, they could use the results and findings of this study as basis for studies in the similar field. Sa researchers as future educators, this research could improve their knowledge to construct various teaching techniques. Minsan nilalagay namin ay sa researcher kasi ang study na ito ay reflection ng kanilang pagkatuto sa maraming taon ng kanilang pag-aaral. So it will help in the part ng application ng mga theory na pinag-aralan. So that is the significance of the study. May tanong?
Wala po, sir.
Patalino talaga hindi nagtatanong. Okay, next. This is second to the last part, the scope and limitation. So most often than not, student researchers would fail to set the boundaries of their investigations. It is equally important for the student researchers to describe the limitations of their studies. This portion discusses the weaknesses of the study in terms of its ability to generalize research findings. That student researchers need to have a clear theoretical understanding of what scope and limitation mean. Kaya mahalaga na nagbe-brainstorm ka. At mahalaga din na alam mo talaga kung ano yung gusto nyong hanapin at ano ang gusto ninyong pag-aralan. Para ma-set nyo ang scope. Within Quezon lang ba? Ano ba talagang gusto? Kung within Quezon lang, saang part ng Quezon? Kung mga selected restaurants lang, sinong mga selected restaurants? Pero hindi mo babanggitin yung pangalan because of data privacy. Pero malinaw sa scope na halimbawa, ang tinest ko lang po ay 4 na restaurants o 5 lang po. Tapos po, ang akin pong mga respondents sa loob po ng restaurants ay 25 lamang. Yun, malinaw ang scope para hindi natin masaklaw yung hindi naman kayang saklawan ng ating pag-aaral. Sabi ni Navarro at ni Santos noong 2011, ang scope, it tells us the extent to which the results of an inquiry may find an application, while limitation gives information on the shortcomings. Minsan, as you go along with the study, parang hindi po sinasaklaw. Halimbawa, yung sa NC at saka yung sa skills, parang hindi po sinasaklawan ng pag-aaral na ito na porket may NC ay mas mahusay, so on and so forth. So you set the limitation na hindi kayang saklawan ng iyong pag-aaral. So in a nutshell, it can be concluded that this part of research proposal states the major variables including the subcategories, the setting, or the research locale. Sinasama yung gaya ng sinabi ko kanina tungkol sa restaurants. And when the data will be gathered, nakalagay din po sa scope and limitation that sa last part, sa pinakahuling statement, this study was conducted during the academic year 2019, 2020-2021. Yun lagi yung closing statement ng scope and limitation. So in addition, it is worth mentioning too that clear cut of sample size, gaya na sinabi ko rin kanina, kung ilan lang talaga yung sample size o yung respondents o yung population. Likewise, other research reports include the statistical tools used for data analysis. Pwede rin namang maglagay ng statistical tools. Okay. So, tingnan natin kung anong itsura ng kanyang scope and limitation. Look, so this research was limited to the assessment and evaluation of students' technical capabilities as a measure of their preparedness to face the labor industry. It was limited only to the students of Tayaba City Division Standalone Senior High School or TCDSA SHS who are taking TVL tracks in senior high school. So, kahit na sinukat niya yung school, limited lang siya sa TVL, hindi niya pwedeng saklawan system, SIUM, so that's the limitation. At yun lang din yung scope ng pag-aaral. Kinandak siya sa TCDSA, SHS, Tayaba City, among the students composed of 100 who were enrolled in the said program. Pansin nyo, sa pag-aaral na to, nakastate ang school. Tapos, nasa title din ng research yung pangalan ng school. Yan ay dati. Sa kasalukuyan, hindi na ito pinapayagan because of data privacy. Instead, pwede na rin itong sabihin na it was limited only to the students of a senior high school in Quezon Province, ganun lang, who are taking TVL tracks para anonymous kung anong school. It was, 100. Furthermore, this study was also limited to 20 representatives from local companies. So, 100 na estudyante at 20 yung mga industry representative na sinurvey na konektado sa TVL who serve as respondents for employers' perception and on-job preparedness of the on-the-job trainees and graduates. Yung sabi ko kanina, closing statement, this study was conducted during the academic year 2018-2019. Question? Meron wala?
Sir, ilan po yung minimum na respondents na kailangan po namin?
Depende sa study. Ano nga sa iyo? And si ano?
Apo.
Ilang restaurants?
Yun po yung pag-uusapan daw po namin. Kasi po yung, kumbaga, ang kailangan lang po namin, yung sakop po namin general na food service industry dito sa Lucena.
Okay. So, pag i-discuss naman natin yan sa chapter 3, pwede namang fictional muna yung bilang, pero kung ako sa inyo, ganito gawin nyo, kung food and service industry sa buong Lucena,
Apo.
paki-identify na kung sino sila at ilan sila lahat.
Ano po sir yung possible na minimum lang na restaurant na pwede po namin kunin? Ilan po pa yung possible na minimum?
Ay ano kasi yan eh, kino-compute yan.
Okay po.
So halimbawa kung may ilalagay nyo rin sa scope, 'di ba sa UINC, ilagay nyo sa scope kung fast food ba siya o hindi.
Okay po.
Kung lahatan yan, ay di lahat kahit karinderya kasama.
Opo.
Ngayon, kung siya naman ay 'di ba meron tayong mga small, medium enterprise, yung mga karinderya, kung hindi siya isasama, ay di i-categorize nyo. May tawag ba kayo sa category na ganyan? Ano ba yung katulad ng mga ano nga ba yung kainan dyan sa bayan? Ano pa? Ang pangalan ng pansitan sa bayan na malaki? Yung sa may simbahan?
Ano po? Antigua po ba? Or
Yan, Antigua. Yan. Halimbawa, yung mga katulad ng Antigua o kaya katulad ng mga yung bang medyo hindi naman murang-mura, hindi naman siya karinderya, pero medyo katamtaman ang level. Yun, baka may kategorya kayong ganyan sa food and service management. Eh di, ang makakapagsabi kayo kasi kayo ang nasa field. O kaya naman you ask the advisor. Ini-enumerate kasi natin yan. Ilan sila lahat? Kung 100 yan, ina-apply natin ng formula para makuha natin yung valid na sample size. Kasi hindi tayo pwede mag-set ng halimbawa, 5 lang, okay na yan. Kasi statistically, baka yung 5 ay hindi sasapat na mag-represent ng boses ng lahat. No?
Opo.
Parang ano yan eh, parang yung survey na ginagamit sa SWS sa mga rating ng Pangulo. Hindi naman lahat ng population ay tinatanong at sinasurvey. Pero yung tipo bang pag kinuha ko yung ganitong bilang ng population, kahit na i-survey ko lahat-lahat ng tao sa Pilipinas, pareho lang na magiging result. May level of validity kasi. So, sa ngayon, para malaman natin kung ilan ang inyong ilalagay na respondents, depende sa kung ano ang target ninyo. Tapos, i-enumerate ninyo lahat. Tapos, mula doon, kukuhaan natin ng sample. Okay?
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Most probably, yan ay mga 10 above, ganun. O kaya 5. Depende pa rin sa kung 5 lang naman yung restaurant, edi ano na yun, 100% na lahat. Okay, let's proceed to may tanong pa. You're welcome. Napapaano to si aparato. Hindi makapasok. Okay. So let's go with the last part of chapter 1, which is the definition of terms. So this section facilitates understanding of the study by defining the terms or variables according to their contextual use. So bakit tayo kailangan mag-define ng variables o ng terms? Una, to guide and direct the researchers in quantifying and qualifying the variables, and to ensure clarity of the meaning of the variables and minimize the reader's misconception. Kailangan kasi ay para naiintindihan ng mambabasa kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng iyong sinasabi sa ganitong statement. Mas malinaw yon kung may definition of terms. May dalawang uri ng definition, the conceptual definition and the operational definition. So, punta tayo sa conceptual. Ang conceptual definition, this refers to the definition na makikita sa dictionary. It is the academic or the universal meaning given to a word or group of words. Yung pag ni-research mo sa internet, ang meaning ng isang word, ang tawag doon ay conceptual definition. It is the meaning understood by many people. It is, however, more abstract and more formal kaysa sa operational definition. It is also called the subjective or the theoretical or textual meaning of the word. Example, motivation. Ang conceptual definition of motivation is something that causes a person to act. O kaya naman, problem. Problem is a subjective experience perceived to be unpleasant, initiated by potentially damaging stimuli but influenced by affective variables. Yung mga definition na yan ay makikita nyo sa dictionary, makikita nyo kay Webster, makikita nyo sa internet. Pag pumunta tayo sa operational definition, pag technology research, we use operational definition of terms, not conceptual. So operational definition refers to the researcher's own definition of terms as used in the study. Kung paano mo ginamit yung term sa iyong pag-aaral, that is the operational definition. It is the specific way or meaning used in the study. It is also called the objective or practical functioning meaning of the word. Example, kanina, motivation. So ngayon, motivation pa rin. So dahil halimbawa, ang motivation ay ginamit sa research na related sa education, pag dinefine mo siya operationally, motivation is the ability of the teacher to accomplish her task on time. So, nag-iba na siya ng meaning kasi ito yung pagkakagamit ng salitang motivation doon sa mismong research. Hindi mo siya makikita na definition ng motivation sa dictionary o kaya sa internet. Kasi ang naggagawa ng definition na ito ay kung sino ang researcher. Example, problem. Problem is the barrier met by teachers in rendering their services in a school. So, that is also an operational definition. Pakitandaan palagi, usually ang nag-emerge, sabi, ano ba yung i-define ko? Paano ko malalaman kung motivation at problem yung i-define ko? Ang una mong pagkukuhaan ng mga terms ay yung iyong title. Example nga ng title nyo. Title. Example nga ng title. Saan na? Caliejo? Grabe. Ilan kayo, ano? Caliejo, nandiyan ka. Anong title
Ano
niya?
po yung safety practices? Wait lang po. Yung pong ano, best practices of
Safety.
best practices of selected
Best.
restaurants in Lucena City in relation to RA 9003.
Best practices of selected
Restaurants
restaurants
in Lucena City
in Lucena City
in
in
relation
relation to
Opo. RA 9003.
RA 9003. Okay, so dito kayo magsisimula sa title. Una, best practices of selected restaurants in Lucena City in relation to RA 9003. Kailangan mong i-define si practices. Siyempre, pag conceptual definition ni practice, edi yung nagpa-practice, may sayaw, magpa-practice, ganyan. Pero since paano mo ba siya gagamitin sa study, edi yung practices mo ay tumutukoy sa mga, dahil RA 9003 ito ay parang safety. Ayan ba yung sa segregation ng basura?
Yes po, sir.
Ayun, so pag nag-define ka ng practice ng restaurants, this pertains to the different ways and means conducted by restaurants in disposing their basura or waste management system, something like that. That's operational definition. Then, after mo ma-define si practice, i-define mo rin yung restaurants, i-define mo rin yung RA 9003. After mo makatapos sa title, ang sunod mong pupuntahan ay ang iyong statement of the problem. Titingnan mo sa statement of the problem mo kung ano ang mga dapat mong i-define, mga keywords. Balik na tayo sa statement of wait lang, I'm stuck. Yan. Statement of the problem. Yan. So, kailangan mong i-define yung industry preparedness. Kailangan mong i-define yung 4-skill category. Ano yung general work habits, ano yung communication skills, ano yung technical skills, ano yung technology literacy, ano pa ba? Ano yung labor industry? Usually, yung mga important words na nag-emerge sa ating title at sa ating statement of the problem ang nilalagay natin sa definition of terms. Kung kailangan mo ay 20 words, edi okay, define mo. Kung kailangan mo ay 8 lang, edi 8 lang. Ano? Wala namang persa. Naintindihan po natin ang definition of terms?
Opo, sir.
Okay. Yan, tapos na yung lesson. Tingnan natin yung SLSU pattern. Hindi masyadong mahigpit naman ang pattern ng chapter 1 kasi very basic pa lang. So, ito. Pero ang format ay may mga error. Pero ni-resolve na namin yan. Katulad nito, chapter 1, naka-bold. Itong 1 na to ay naka-Hindu-Arabic. Ang gagamitin dyan ay Roman numeral. Contradicting yan dito, oh. Ang chapter 2 niya ay Roman numeral, pero ang chapter 1 niya ay as in 1. It should be I, okay? May space na isa, then introduction. Ito yung laman, background of the study. Bago ka mag-background, lamnan mo muna itong introduction ng 1 page. Then background of the study, mga 1 page din. Then objectives of the study, papalitan natin, statement of the problem. Then significance of the study, isa-isahin nyo na kay community, kay industry, kay researcher, kay future researcher, kay administrator, kay restaurant manager, baka makakatulong sa ekonomiya, baka makakatulong sa pandemic o sa komunidad. Anyway, significance of the study. Then ano yung scope and limitation? I encourage ang scope and limitation ay 2 paragraph, isa for the scope and isa for the limitation. Then the definition of terms, lagyan lagi ng introduction ang definition of terms, yung ganun. And the following terms were defined in this study operationally to make the study more comprehensible to the readers. Okay lang naman itong kopyahin, pero kapag nag-shoot yan as color red sa plagiarism, edi i-rephrase lang naman. Ayusin lang. Yung communication skills. Pansin nyo, ang communication skills kasi ay pwede namang communication skills ng lahat ng tao, pero dahil operational ang definition, communication skills refer to the extent the students have prepared with the following abilities: ability to communicate verbally, nakafocus siya sa students, company linkages. Pansin nyo, naka-indent ang communication skills. Ano? Sa bagong updated natin na format, wala kasing naka-detail dito. Walang nakalagay. Ang kasunod na ay chapter 2. Pero, ang ginagamit natin dito ay hanging indention. Alam niyo yung hanging indention? Ha?
Hindi, sir.
Hindi, okay. Ang hanging indention ay baliktad. Etong communication skills, nandito nakatapat. Tapos itong following, dito nakatapat. Yan yung hanging. Para siyang bibliography. I'll give you some. Kailangan pong lagay. Yan. Ito kasi ay naka-block. Ganito ang itsura ng hanging indention. Yan. Kita niya? Ha?
Opo, sir.
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, ganyan ang hanging indention, ha? Yung word mismo naka-bold. Balik na natin. Tapos, pag nagde-define tayo sa definition of terms, isang buong sentence na siya. Hindi naman isang-isa lang, pwedeng dalawa, pwedeng tatlo. Pero hindi siya yung katulad ba ng sa dictionary na communication skills, period. It refers to ganun, hindi ganun. Pag nagde-define tayo dito sa research, nakadiretso siyang sentence. Tingnan nyo. Communication skills refer to the extent, diretso siya, isa siyang sentence. Companies and linkages are the employers who serve. Yan, diretso ang pag-define. And of course, alphabetically order ito. No. Okay. So that is chapter 1. I will also upload these general guidelines na galing sa main campus. Hindi pa natin concern si title page, biographical sketch, certificate, yung mga preliminaries na tinatawag. Direct tayo sa chapter 1. Always beginning with page 1. Ay, ito pala, paalala pala. Ang chapter 1 ay page 1 pero wala siyang nakikitang visible page. What's this? Yan. Yan. Chapter 1. Ito'y page 1 pero bawal lagyan ng page. Tapos to page 2. Yan. Lahat ng opening ng chapter ay walang page number pero kasama sa bilang. Yung mga nasa unahan, ito'y preliminaries mula sa title page. Ang page number nito ay Roman numeral. Ang ginagamit natin na font ay Times New Roman 12 ang size. Double space. Okay? Pag nag-open kayo ng document, wait lang. Mag-open lang ako ng blank document para alam nyo kung paano mag-format. Medyo meticuloso ako sa formatting. Ayaw ko nung masyadong malalaki ang pagitan. Okay. Nakikita nyo na yung blank?
Apo, sir.
Okay. Pag open nyo ng document, ang first thing na gagawin ninyo ay punta kayo dito sa kita niyo yung mouse ko? Yan. Mag-double click kayo dyan. Hintayin lang natin lumabas. Mag-double click kayo sa margin. To set the margin. Yan. Ang top natin is 1. Ang bottom is 1. Ang left natin ay gagawing 1.5. Ang right ay 1, 0, and left. Wala na kayong ibang babaguhin kundi yung left lang, 1.5. Make sure ang paper nyo ay naka-letter 8.5 by 11. Yung layout. Wala na yung layout. Okay. Then, okay. Yan. So, pansin nyo, umangat na ito dito. Kaya 1.5 ang ginagamit natin simply because for binding pag nag-bind tayo. Ang next po natin gagawin ay mag-right click. Mag-control A muna. Tapos mag-right click. Click nyo yung paragraph. Yan. Ang default ni Microsoft Word ay 8. Ito, spacing. Before 0, ang after niya is 8. So, ito ay dapat naka-0. Tapos, ang line spacing mo ay naka-double. Then, okay. Yan. Tapos, change natin ang font sa Times New Roman. At ang font size niya dapat ay 12. Then, saka ka palang magsisimula, i-center. Then, chapter 1. Naka-bold. Enter ng isa. Introduction. Enter ng 2. Then, justify. Naka-bold. Yan, yung normal na. Tapos naka-indent. Yan. Ang intention ay isang tab, ha? So, dire-diretso, type ka na, ganyan. Lalaki. Yan. Ganun ang gawa, ha? Palakpas kasi. Ginagawa ng iba. Ngayon, kung naligaw ka at nag-iiba-iba, kasi minsan, nagka-copy-paste ka mula sa website. Okay lang, sige, mag-copy-paste. Kung kailangan mag-copy-paste, make sure lang na itatahi mo ng maayos yung kinopy-paste mo sa mga nauna mong nasulat. After mo siyang maitahi ng maayos, edi mas maganda kung ni-rephrase mo na siya. Ngayon, kung hindi mo siya ma-rephrase, edi hayaan mo. Pagdating sa dulo ng manuscript, magpe-plagiarism check tayo, makikita ng plagiarism checker na nangopya ka, i-rephrase mo pa rin siya. So, I advise na sa umpisa pa lang, i-rephrase na ang lahat ng kinokopya. Pag naligaw ka at nagugulo-gulo, minsan may mga kung anong kulay yung mga text, i-control A mo, pindutin mo yung no spacing. Babalik ka sa original format. Then, balik ka sa Times New Roman, sa 12, tapos double spacing, 2.0. Yan. That's it. Okay. Wala akong makikita masyadong malalayo, ha? Baka nainis akong mag-check kapag hindi marunong sumunod kung anong hinihingi ng format. Kasi binibigyan naman ng guidelines but hindi sinusunod. No. Pero okay lang kung ano, I'm afraid mahihirapan po talaga kayo kung wala kayong laptop kasi nagre-research kayo. Kaya I advise na sana man lang isa sa inyo ay may laptop. Hindi ko naman kayo sinabing bumili, ano. Ang akin lang ay kung may mahihiraman, ay di humiram. So ito lang ang laman ng chapter 1, introduction, background of the study, objectives or the statement, significance, scope, limitation, and definition of terms. Nasaan pa ang kasunod? Ang kasunod kasi chapter 2 na. Okay, question? Question? Okay, so nagkakaintindihan tayo. Ano? So, baka isipin nyo ay mahirap yung chapter 1. Pero, mahirap sa naman, challenging. Pero, isa yan sa pinakamadaling part. Ang chapter 1 usually ay 7 to 10 pages. So, I expect na makarating na sa akin, sana nang on time, ang chapter 1. Ang deadline nito ay next week for the first submission. So, para makita natin kung anong nagawa nyo na. Dito masusukat ang level, syempre, ng inyong paraan ng pagsusulat. Kung may problema ka sa grammar, ganun talaga, ay third year na, wala tayong magagawa, kundi ayusin natin. Ngayon, pag na-process ko na yung inyong application form at nag-confirm si advisor, pagdating ng third submission, yun na yung may notation dapat ni advisor. Ano? So, kung wala nang tanong, that's it for the day. I'll be seeing you at 1 o'clock para sa consultation with the lesson plan. I hope na yung first and second demo teachers ay mag-present ng lesson plan later at 1 o'clock. You can utilize the share screen. Okay, thank you. May tanong pa ba?
Thank you po, sir.
Okay, God bless you. Please visit the Google Classroom. I-update ko siya ngayon. Idadagdag ko yung thesis format at saka yung sample na research. Paalala, wag pong kopya ng research. Okay? God bless.
Thank you po.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you.